Hello. And one more time. Hello. I'm probably live, but I'm getting the spinning wheel. All right, so today we are going to read about the Samaritans on page 61, and there's going to be a little bit of extra credit research that we'll throw in there. Let's get started studying about the Samaritans today. Page 61 has 3 vocabulary words: Samaritans, monotheistic, and apocrypha, but we'll save apocrypha for tomorrow. So today, the Samaritans. Finally, it is necessary to look at the Samaritans. And remember that the last few times I've done a page reading, we did a page reading about all the different people groups: Pharisees, Essenes, Sadducees, Zealots. Who else? There was more, but I can't remember. There was, okay, well, now we are on, I can't remember the other ones other than the Zealots because they were a smaller group. Oh, well. Here we go. The Herodians. That's the smaller group, I think. The Herodians. And Therapeutic, also Therapeutic. So anyways, oh, and Amharets. So anyways, those are that was the past the past readings, and now we're doing the Samaritans, just to refresh your memory. So finally, it is necessary to look at the Samaritans as part of the background for understanding New Testament Samaria. New Testament. Samaria was roughly the region occupied by the Old Testament kingdom of Israel. Okay, Old Testament kingdom of Israel is basically what we call Samaria. So it had been destroyed by the Assyrians in 722 BC, but was later resettled by the king of Assyria with pagan peoples to replace the Israelites. If you remember, like way back, like first couple of readings I ever did, I don't know how many pages ago, I remember expressing that when the Israelites would be taken into exile, they would be replaced. Their town, their place that they lived in would be replaced with other people. So like the king of Assyria was just playing games here in order to become a kingdom. In order to have more power, he would take one group and displace them, put them over here, and then take that group and lift them up and place them over here. And he would just play with people's livelihood and heritage like that. It was so strange, but I'm assuming, this is just my opinion, I'm assuming it was to solidify his kingdom and make them assimilate. So in like the worst way. So anyways, that's just my opinion on why he would do it, but I'm sure you can do your own research. But back to the book. So the king would resettle Samaria with pagan, or Israel with pagan people to replace the Israelites. So each, and this is a quotation now from the Old Testament, or I guess, yeah, anyways, it's 2 Kings, the book of 2 Kings 17, 29, and 33. So this is a direct quote. Each national group made its own gods in the several towns where they settled, and set them up in the shrines. The people of Samaria had made at the high places. So the high places are basically like mountaintops. That's what the high places are. That's where they would put up a shrine to their god. So they worshiped the Lord, but they also served their own gods in accordance with the customs of the nations from which they had been brought. So that's 2 Kings again, chapter 17. So Samaria was a mixed population, both racially and religiously. So they were a mixed population racially and religiously. During Ezra's time, its inhabitants were forbidden to help build the temple in Jerusalem. Ezra, you can look at that. You can look up that reference in the book of Ezra, chapter 4, 3-4. So I'm gonna read that again because that's pivotal. During Ezra's time, its inhabitants were forbidden. Samaria was forbidden to help build the temple in Jerusalem, causing them to set up their own temple on Mount Gerizim. They never forgave the Jews for the insult. Bad feelings persisted over the years, and about 128 BC, John Hyrcanus invaded Samaria, devastated the land, and destroyed the temple. So bad feelings persisted over the years, and about 128 BC, John Hyrcanus invaded Samaria, devastated the land, and destroyed their temple. Josephus, Antiquities 13.9.1. After the removal of Archelaus in AD 6, the Samaritans sneaked into the temple in Jerusalem and defiled it by scattering corpses around. Josephus, Antiquities 18.2.2. So we're going to now do a little bit of extra credit research. Actually, first we're going to go back to page 49. And I'm going to remind you who is this Archelaus, who was removed in AD 6. So let's go back to him. Immediately after the death of Herod, riots broke out in Jerusalem that had to be put down with force. These riots continued while the three sons of Herod, Archelaus, Philip, and Antipas, made their way to Rome to present their case before Caesar Augustus. Each wanted to be the sole ruler. After much scheming and intrigue, Augustus divided the land into three ways. He gave Archelaus Idumea, Judea, and Samaria. Okay, and then he also gave him the title of ethnarch. Ethnarch being, the title ethnarch means a local governor or prince. And he did not give him the title of king. So the reference for that is Josephus, Antiquities 17.13.5. And then Antipas was given Galilee and Perea, and we'll move on here to see what else. Archelaus, again, more about him. The rule of Archelaus was brutal and tyrannical. Antiquities 17.13.2, and was strongly resisted from the very beginning. His evil reputation forced Joseph and Mary to take Jesus back to Nazareth rather than return to Bethlehem, which was in Archelaus's territory. Matthew 2 is the reference for that. He constantly interfered with priestly matters, caused great offense by his illegal marriage to a brother's widow, and harshly treated his subjects. When the Jews could stand it no longer, they sent a delegation to Rome, bitterly complaining of Archelaus's misrule. He was summoned to Rome in AD 6, was banished to Vienne in Gaul, where he died. So Archelaus' territory was then placed under direct Roman rule from AD 6 to AD 41, when the nation was unified under Agrippa I. And then there were procurators at that time. And remember, that is when we meet Pontius Pilate. He was the sixth procurator. He was harsh and insensitive, and he was the procurator from 26 to AD 36. And so, but that's in the future. We are now at AD 6. We now see Archelaus being deposed, and that area will be placed under Roman rule. Procurators, whatever. Procurators are governing it. So moving on, back to, now that we did that little review, back to Archelaus in 86 here. After the removal of Archelaus in 86, the Samaritans sneaked into the temple in Jerusalem and defiled it by scattering corpses around. Josephus, Antiquities 18.2.2. Later, the Samaritans killed a number of Jewish pilgrims at Guinea or Ginny. Not sure how they pronounced it, how they pronounced their town in ancient times, but now it's called Jenin. And I'm not sure why I said that with a French accent, but that's how, when I went to how do you pronounce this, that's how the lady said it. So Jenin. But now that's apparently what that town is called. And that's where we will do a little bit of extra credit. I looked it up on Wikipedia and encyclopedia.com, because obviously Wikipedia is not a good source for research, but there's just not a lot about it on the internet. Not like, there's hardly anything. I couldn't find anything on Ginae, the town, which I believe later Samaritans killed a number of Jewish pilgrims at. So I'm guessing that this is a Samaritan town hard to find anything on the internet about it. But so I'm going to quote Wikipedia just because they were actually the best source. I just couldn't find anything. But here we go. Just don't use it if you're writing a paper. Roman and Byzantine periods. During the Roman period, Jenin was called Ginny and was settled exclusively by Samaritans. The people, so it's a Samaritan town. The people of Galilee were disposed to pass through their city during the annual pilgrimages to Jerusalem. Biblical commentator F.W. Farrar, so there's a source, raised the possibility that this Samaritan village, the quotations, the first village at which a traveler taking the road from Galilee to Judea over Mount Tabor would arrive, was the one which rejected the disciples of Jesus in Luke's gospel. At the point where, my book is on the computer, at the point where Jesus and his followers begin his journey towards Jerusalem, ceramics dating from the Byzantine era, side note, a lot of archaeology involves ceramics. Like they can tell what year something is from the ceramics. I just recently learned that. So ceramics, and it's like a huge thing. So anyways, ceramics dating from the Byzantine era have been found here. There is no mention of Jenin in the reports of the Muslim Arab conquest of the Levant from the Byzantines, which, according to the historian Moshe Sharon, is not, quotation, is not surprising since it was a small place of minor importance. Well, dang, calling them out there. Wow. Back to Archelaus in 86. So remember that the Samaritans, after the removal of Archelaus in 86, sneaked into the temple in Jerusalem, defiled it by scattering corpses around. Josephus' Antiquities 8.2.2. Later, the Samaritans killed a number of Jewish pilgrims at Ginny, which started a civil war that ended only by Roman intervention in AD 51. Okay, so this is now after Pontius Pilate, right? Josephus' Antiquities 20.6.1 through 3. The hatred that each group felt for each other, remember this is the Jews and the Samaritans, was long-standing and deep in Jesus' day. And the Jews had no dealings with the Samaritans. John 4:9. Religiously, the Samaritans considered themselves to be Jews. Okay, that's pivotal. They considered themselves Jews, but worshipped in their own distinctive way. They were monotheistic, vocab word, kept the festivals, were committed to the law, practiced circumcision, and looked for a coming Messiah. They did not acknowledge the Jerusalem temple, however, but worshipped on Mount Gerizim. John 4:20, using only their own version of the Pentateuch as their Bible. It is said that I want to know more about that. But anyways, it is said that they did not believe in the resurrection of the dead and I didn't look up that reference. Babylonian Sanhedrin 50b. That would probably be the Talmud 50b, Babylonian Sanhedrin Talmud. Most of what we know about the Samaritans comes from a later period of time, so many details of their faith are obscure to us. It is remarkable that Jesus was so open to the Samaritans, traveling through their territory and even discussing theology with a Samaritan woman. Just wanna woman, yeah, revealing the profound truth to her that God sees those who worship in the right spirit, not in the right place. So Gerizim, Jerusalem, it's in the spirit, not the actual location, right? The reference for that is John 4. He later speaks the parable of the Good Samaritan, Luke 10 reference, to the Jews. There was no such thing as a Good Samaritan to the Jews. And at his ascension, says the gospel must go out. And at his ascension, says the gospel must go out from Jerusalem to Judea to Samaria, and then to the end of the earth, Acts 1:8. Now, there's one more extra credit I want to do really quick because I didn't catch it earlier. Babylonian Sanhedrin 50b. Let's look that up. Babylonian Sanhedrin 50b. Let's see what it says. Okay. Okay, one moment. The Gemara raises an objection. On the contrary. Okay, no, we don't. That's not relevant. That's not relevant. Where does it say anything about Janine, Samaritan? So Rabbi Shimon says, oh, we don't need to read about that. Oof. What's okay? So I am scrolling down looking for something relevant to resurrection. Did I just see that word? Resurrection, resurrection. Baraita. It's all about other stuff. I'm just not seeing anything here. Maybe I should just scroll all the way down. How long is this page? Is this the right one? This is all about priests and Leviticus. There's nothing here about the resurrection. How long is this? Rava says, oh goodness. Anyways, if you stay tuned towards the end, I may or may not have an announcement to make. Just to talk about something other than me staring at a screen. So stay tuned if you're watching this and you're a Christian actor, especially if you're in the filmmaking industry. Stay tuned. This is not about the resurrection. And I will give an announcement possibly if I feel like it. I'm just gonna scroll to the bottom. The whole thing. It's like there's nothing here. The mitzvah. Okay, there's a little bit more. No, now I'm on 52. I somehow. How in the world did I miss? Oh well, forget the extra credit. I probably have to read every word to see what they are talking about when it comes to the resurrection, because I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing stuff about Leviticus here. Now it's gonna bother me. Like I can't look away. I have to find it now. It's gonna really bug me. I don't know if anybody's watching this. I'm sorry. Yeah, so stay tuned. I have a little bit of an announcement if you're a Christian actor. No, it's all about capital punishment. There's nothing here about the resurrection. Am I on 51 yet? Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. No. Blah, blah. And then 51. There was nothing here. Okay, I'm going to search one more time. Resurrection. Yes? No. No, forget it. I have to find it now. I can't. It's going to bother me. Babylonian Sanhedrin 50b resurrection, right? Oh, that's 92b. It's not in there. It's not in there. It said that they did not believe in the resurrection of the dead. I'm going to have to read it all word for word later. I'm just not finding it. It's in 92b. Ezekiel revived that the resurrection dead will not live forever, but will die. Okay, we're just gonna. Okay, we'll save the Talmud stuff for another time. I have to read it word for word, I guess. So, where was I? I guess I'm done with the extra credit, right? It's like, was I doing anything else? No. Okay, so announcement: if you're a Christian actor, or whatever, if you want to be a Christian actor, I don't know. So I have always had a passion for fine arts and acting, theater. I've always dabbled in independent films and things like that. And I decided to get back into it now because I'm in between jobs, COVID, I got laid off. And so I'm like, okay, this is a good time to do the business stuff, which is headshots, resumes, marketing yourself. I'm not good at that. I hate that. I just like the I have a passion for acting. I hate the businessy details. I have no brain for that. But to get back into it, you have to start somewhere. So I wanted to, so I've not been happy with what I've been seeing when I got back into it. Like there's some pros and there's some cons to it. Some things are great about the acting industry right now. It's booming. And then some things are awful. And I'm just like, how am I seeing what I'm seeing right now after the Me Too movement? Like that, like what I'm seeing right now is absolutely insane. Um and I'm so disillusioned and disappointed with trying to be a Christian artist that I just thought, well, wow, I've been getting back into it for like what, a month or something, maybe 2 months, I don't know. And not long. And I mean, I do like one thing a year as far as independent films. And then this last month or two, I started submitting for a lot more because I have free time. I'm in between jobs. I've been so disillusioned and mad. I'm a little bit angry about with what I'm seeing. Whoa, I've been live 21 minutes. Oh my goodness. Wow, that's probably the longest I've ever been live. Because I just sat here and stared at the Talmud and didn't find what I was looking for, right? And all the extra credit. Okay. So I decided, well, okay, let me see what on Facebook exists as far as Christian support groups just for actors, not filmmakers. And there's so many for filmmakers, whether you're Christian or not. There's tons of groups for filmmakers who encourage and support each other, answer each other's questions and stuff. I only found like one for actors. I joined it, but I don't know what their culture is or what their atmosphere is. So I was like, let me start my own too, because I don't really know what I just joined. Maybe I'll love it and like delete mine. Maybe I'll hate it and just want something much smaller without thousands of people. So, but in general, I'm really disillusioned with what I'm seeing. And I feel like if I've been doing this for like a month and I've already experienced stuff that is, made me drive home in shock, what about people who have been doing this like a lot more than me? Like there has to be tons of people who are very disillusioned or broken or have stories. So I thought it'd be a good place to encourage each other. I'm a believer in Facebook groups being a good support system, aside from therapy, aside from family and friends. So, Facebook groups are really good for just finding like-minded people who know what you've gone through, because they've gone through it too. And when you share certain things with other people who haven't gone through that particular story, they won't believe you, or they won't understand you. They'll write you off, not be your friends anymore, not talk to you anymore, because they don't know how to deal with it. If you overshare your problems with people, sometimes they're just like, well, I don't know how to fix your problem, so I'm just gonna not be your friends anymore. It's like, well, I don't want you to fix my problem, I just want you to be my friend. So that happens a lot when you overshare with people who aren't like-minded. So I don't really believe in that. So that's why I'm a believer in support groups of peers, industry support groups or support groups for abuse or whatever your situation may be. If you've been abused before domestically or whatever, there's tons of support groups for that. So yeah, I think I just I don't know if I'm gonna follow through much with it, anyone's gonna join it, but I was very disheartened with what I saw. And I feel like Christians need a place to, if they're in the industry, to come together and say, I definitely, is this okay? Like, is this normal? Like, do you go through this? Because this is what I just went through. And it doesn't feel normal or good or very Christian or like, Like, do I quit? Do I, do I keep trying? So, like, a little bit of struggle there with the whole how to live in this world and be a part of it, like Daniel, while not compromising. So anyways, I started a Christian support group. You might be able to do a search for it. I think it's called Christian Support Group for, I don't know what it's called. Christian Support Group for Actors, Artists, Models, and Talent, or something like that. I don't know. I don't remember what it's called. So anyways, just know I don't like I was so excited about doing some things next month, and now I'm just like over it. I want to just give it up. So I thought, maybe I need to see what other people have been going through and talk about it. So anyways, so that was the announcement. That has nothing to do with this reading. My hair is fluffy, isn't it? So I'm going to quit the live now. Am I still live? Am I talking to myself? I think I'm still live. So this was a lot of me just talking. It's supposed to be like a 5-minute thing. Like, okay, seriously. It was supposed to be just this. Just so you know, like, oh, she thinks she does short videos, but she really doesn't. This is what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be just the Samaritans. Bada bing. Right there. Done. That's it. But I had the extra credit stuff that I had researched, I guess. And so then I just started talking. So whatever. If you're sitting there listening to me blab about stuff, cool. Email me if you have any questions. The email for these readings is, what is it? BeWordL@gmail.com. BeWordL@gmail.com, because the whole point of it is being literate or finding first century literacy to understand exactly what first century history is about. And we do it from this book, Encountering the New Testament. That way we don't just have a meme understanding or a fake or superficial understanding of what the Bible says. We actually go ahead and delve in and see what they actually believe, what they actually wrote, and how the people in the first century actually understood it. Like, what did it mean to them? How did they, what did they mean when they wrote it? What did they mean when they read it for the first time? So that's the whole point of this. And then, so email me if you have any questions. And I don't think there's any pictures to put in the comments today, but yeah. And then if you were interested in the special announcement that I gave and you want links to that group that I'm starting, then just holler at me and let me know, and I'll send you a link. So I think that's it. I'm gonna call it quits here. Bye. And live. It makes me click end twice. That gets me sometimes. Bye. How do I stop this? Stop. I told you it gets me. Okay, so let's end you guys over here. Hello. And oh, if anybody is watching over here, I just want to tell you guys, oh, in YouTube. If anyone is watching on YouTube, just want to tell you guys hello. Shout out to you guys. I have no idea who you are if you watch it. But thanks for watching. And if you have any questions, definitely like email me or just to be friends because I don't even know who you are if you're watching this. So if you want to be friends, email me BeWordL@gmail.com. Now I'm going to end the stream for real this time. Bye. Bye. Do, 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 do.